Shalom, shalom. Name is Yeshiah Yisrael. Giving honor and praise to the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. We want to go to a short presentation. Egypt talking, writing. Did the Torah come from the culture of Tameri? Now, I want to explain something concerning this book right here. You see this right here? This is not trying to be funny, a question mark. So that should let the reader know that I, the author, was addressing a matter. I was responding to a matter. The matter being whether or not the Torah, that is to say, in the Common Bible from Genesis to Deuteronomy, comes from the culture of Tameri. Tameri being a part of ancient Egypt. Alright? Another thing is that some people stated that I spelled Tameri wrong. But since the word is not an English word, there can never be a correct English translation. Pardon me. A correct English spelling, since it's not an English word. Alright, so that's what I want to emphasize in that particular regard. Now, I want to state something concerning this kind of book also. If you look right here at the table of contents, Introduction, Joseph and Dynasty 12, Part 2, Dispelling the lies and misunderstandings concerning the Hebrews and the Egyptians, Debates and Israelite Perception. So, looking at it, if we go in this book right here, okay, to page 123, right? So that way we can begin to see the function and genre and part of this book. Debates in Israelite Perception. It is interesting to note that brothers who are into Kemetic studies state that the white man gave you the Bible. That statement becomes interesting since you look at the translators of the hieroglyphs, you don't see black people. Okay, so this right here just goes to show you that this book right here is getting into the particular aspect of responding to claims that have been made against Israelites. In order to understand this kind of book, it is necessary for one to understand the point or the genre of it. Alright, if a person just goes into this kind of book right here without understanding the point of it, the purpose of it, he or she is going to miss the whole entire point and subject matter. In light of that, speaking, giving honor and praise unto the Most High, as an Israelite, I recommend brothers and sisters to read this book first. Both of them being on Amazon. Deuteronomy 28:15-68, The Condition of the Blacks. History Untold to the Masses. This book right here is more so about the Israelites themselves, not addressing an attack that was made upon the Israelites. Alright, so the genre of each book is different. They're both on Amazon for those who want them. The number I can be reached at is 908-587-4841. Shalom. Shalom, shalom. My name is Yeshiah Yisrael. Giving honor and praise to the Creator and Maker of heaven and earth. It says Deuteronomy 28:15-68, the condition of the blacks. Alright, let's understand something about this kind of book right here by looking, brothers and sisters, at the table of contents, if we will. Introduction, from Summa to America, brief history of Yisrael. Deuteronomy 28:15-68, 12 tribe chart, Egypt talking, writing, bibliography. Now this is my first copy of it, so you might sit there and see my edit notes and everything written in, but we're still going to use this as the litmus of what we're talking about. Alright, one will have to understand what is Summa, what is America, who is Israel that I'm talking about. Deuteronomy 28, you're going to need your Bible to follow this. If you're not familiar with, no offense intended to any school, the doctrines that came from the Israelites on 1 West 125th Street, the 12 tribe chart, you have to understand their tribal chart to understand that chapter right there. Egypt talking, writing, revisited, alright, in which I discussed the book that we previously spoke of. Okay, let's go on into certain parts of this and explain what we're talking about. On page 49 of this book, it says here, the tribes of Israel after being scattered, enslavement. Alright, now this is actually part of chapter 2, from Summa to America. One is going to have to understand what this point is and what this point is talking about. Throughout this book, like the Egypt Talk book, I actually sat there and put subtitles after subtitles after subtitles. You can't just go, let's say, looking at page, all right, 48, looking at this right here, and then go here and ignore the part there that's underlined, because that explains what the words afterward are going to be talking about. Let's go on to the next particular part, if we will. One of the things I state in this right here says this: to decimate the concept that the first blacks brought to America as slaves came with John Hawkins is to state that John Hawkins never came to what is currently called the United States. John Hawkins went and traded blacks as slaves in what is currently called Venezuela, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. So this right here is something I just wanted to show and state it for edification purposes, that one is going to have to look up John Hawkins. Are there people saying that black people were first brought here by John Hawkins to what we call the United States of America today? All right. So let's look up this part here. Another subtitle: who were the people taken as captives from West Africa in chains and unsanitary ships to the Americas? Okay. Now, in this particular one right here, I cite something out of the book, Hebrewisms of West Africa. If you're not familiar with that book, you're going to have to perhaps get that book in order to understand where I'm coming from in this particular regard. All right. It says this: many Jews are also scattered over this region. Some natives, boasting themselves of Abraham's seed, inhabiting both sides of the river Niger. You may have to look up the river Niger. Okay. Others are Asian strangers who fled thither, meaning there, either from the desolation of Jerusalem by Vespasian, or from Judea, wasted and depopulated by the Romans, Persians, Saracens, and Christians. So you're going to have to look up who Vespasian is in order to understand. Because when you look it up, you can get a timeline. You get the years that the person ruled, that the person was alive, that the person functioned and operated and did what he did. But you just can't go in these kind of books, and I say this in no disrespect, without, even if you want to use Google to fact check something, that's not a problem. But you just go in these kind of books, Egypt Talking Writing in Deuteronomy 28:15-68, and think, oh, you just going to, and I say this in no disrespect, not to sound haughty or arrogant, but the books are not made for the YouTube. And I say this in love, couch potato. If you're just going from, you know, the debate realm, from the such and such TV and so forth and so on to these kind of books, it's not going to make any sense to you. You understand? One must already be knowledgeable of something already in this particular subject. All right. Now, my style, and I say this not to be arrogant, I'm not dumbing nothing down. You understand? I'm not going to sit there and curtail the language so people can understand it a bit clearer. I can't do that. You understand? One of the problems with us as a people is we, even just using these two books here as an example, don't want to step up the game. And it's not that my book is the solution to black people. What I'm saying, nonetheless, brothers and sisters and elders included, is the fact that in order to understand these kind of things and teachings, be it from me or from anyone else, you're going to have to fact check and get sources and look at the bibliography that's in each book. Call the number, email me, all right? And I have no problem explaining it. But for those who actually have contacted me and asked me if I can, quote unquote, dumb something down, quote unquote, slow down in what you're doing, I cannot dumb nothing down. And we should not, as a people, slow anything down. We are already behind as a people. You understand? In many aspects, be it in education, social matters, economic matters, political matters, we are already behind. So slowing down is not really an option for the black man. All right. So with that, I just want to show another aspect concerning this kind of book right here, or concerning this book right here. All right. And that's this over here, if you will. All right. Says appendix on Deuteronomy 28:68. All right. And this right here is actually done in a video put into Word format for edification purposes. And also in this book right here, all right, on page 249, matter of Munter of Rome explained. All right. And in this particular part, I explained that many people, when they try to talk about Munter, the Roman historian, saying that the people of the Israelites was put into ships and sent to Egypt is a fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28. I go into that meticulously and expound upon why we still say what we're saying concerning Deuteronomy 28, verse 68 being the Atlantic slave trade. So with that, I say thank you for the time. Shalom. Again, I can be reached at Kashubhut, KASHUBHUT @gmail.com. Peace.